All right, good afternoon slash good evening to all of you. I am Ryan here. Joined beside me is Joel. There we are. We are live breaking into coverage here. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the very far western half of the UP here. This yellow polygon that you see on your screen, that's going to be your warning here in effect for Ontonagon and Gogebic counties until roughly 6:30 p.m. The text of this warning says that a storm was located near Wakefield, 10 miles northeast of Ironwood, moving east at 30 miles per hour. Hazard is $half size hail, $half size hail. So we're not talking quarters, we're talking a bit larger than that. In addition, we have winds up to 50 miles per hour. So they're not talking severe winds here, but still can be pretty gusty in some spots there. Locations include Ontonagon, Porcupine Mountains State Park, Bessemer, Wakefield, Bergland, Lake Gogebic, Silver City, Norwich, Thomastown, or Thomaston, sorry, Copper Peak, Victoria Dam, and Clark Lake areas. For your protection, move to your interior room on the lowest floor of a building. So this is going to be your polygon here. It stretches from Ontonagon down toward Rockland, down close to Bruce Crossing, over toward Ethelwood, up toward Wakefield. The storm core currently located near the Planter and Connerville Township area, heading toward Tula and Lake Gogebic. We zoom out here. We go ahead and animate this radar. You're going to see a very slow east-northeast progression with this storm movement here. So it's off to the east-northeast, and we have more storms forming back to the to the west and south, but also back to the north over Lake Superior as well. So these storms today may be widespread across the UP with numerous warnings issued. They actually upgraded this to a slight risk on the latest SPC outlook for wind. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. But again, this warning in effect currently is going to be for primarily hail up to $half size. So this is the start of what likely will be a few hours of live coverage this evening for the UP. And we will go ahead and say it off the bat. If you guys are watching from the UP and you have the Michigan Storm Chasers app, it is out on both platforms. Please utilize the report feature because we can pull it up right on air for the first time ever on the stream. For example, we had somebody report rain in Ironwood. I can pull that up, and I can pull this up and watch this in real time with you guys if we wanted to. This is going to come in handy for us throughout the next couple of hours this evening. So again, if you have the MSC app and you live up in the UP, please utilize that to report weather to us with your app. So with that being said, Joel, anything you want to chime in with that I missed?
I was literally going to say the exact same thing. Like, make sure that if you guys are reporting today, we can officially say now that you don't have to go right to our messenger. You can go straight to the MSC app. It's free to download on the App Store. But again, severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now. We just have one warning, and it's important to note that this is the only warning in the state right now. So if you're in the Lower Peninsula, severe weather not happening. There's a chance we could see a pop-up or two later this evening, but right now nothing has really materialized across the Lower Peninsula, and severe weather is not likely in the Lower Peninsula. This is primarily an Upper Peninsula threat for wind and hail, and right now we are in kind of a multicellular mode right now until this eventually, according to models, will transition into more of a damaging wind event where it becomes one straight line. But for the time being, we're in multicellular mode, which means there's a couple updrafts inside of this line of storms, allowing to get some of those larger raindrops up into the updrafts, 40,000, 45,000 feet up in the air, and that's what's allowing some larger hail to perhaps be falling here across portions of Gogebic and Ontonagon counties in the western Upper Peninsula. Current time, of course, 5:31 Eastern, 4:31 Central Time.
Also want to take a look at the velocity here. You can kind of see mixed in here, there's a little area perhaps of some downburst going on in the center of these storms here. We can kind of line up where it kind of looks where the reds and greens are kind of not coming together, but they're kind of in the same area. It lines up perfectly with the core, with the heavier precipitation of the storm, which kind of tells me we probably have some gustier winds happening here just north of Tula and west-northwest of Lake Gogebic. I want to keep that in mind as well. Again, the warning does not include wind as a severe hazard, but that doesn't mean it's not actually occurring here. And again, if you have any damage reports or anything you want to report to us, utilize the MSC app. We can get those in real time here on our software. I'm going
There's a lot
to
of
go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a lot of downbursts ongoing within this line, both inside and outside of the severe thunderstorm warning polygon. There's a couple downbursts ongoing over Ironwood right now, which is actually just outside of that severe thunderstorm warning polygon. And I'm noticing on correlation coefficient radar specifically that there's a lot of yellows and greens mixing in instead of your normal reds and violets that you would see on correlation coefficient radar. Ryan, I don't know if you want to take my radar very briefly here.
Yeah, I can do that.
As you can see, all these pinks, or sorry, these violets and reds, that is going to be your normal rain droplets. But you can see there's a lot of yellows and greens mixing in down here, and that is going to be your hail. Again, it picks up this correlation coefficient radar picks up on things in the atmosphere that are meteorological in sense, but they're jagged. And as you guys know, hail is pretty jagged in nature. You don't really get too many completely round hailstones, especially since as they fall, they kind of collide into each other, so they break apart a little bit. But all of those little yellow and green pixels that you see kind of scattered up and down this line right now, both inside and outside of that severe thunderstorm warning polygon, is likely hail in some capacity falling, whether it's severe or not. That is something to be watching right now across portions of Gogebic and Ontonagon counties here in the western Upper Peninsula.
I'm just getting my radar software set up here behind the scenes. I have 2 softwares I'm utilizing today, so getting one set up.
Okay.
So I should be good to go now, though. Go ahead.
There are also a couple storms in between Isle Royale and Keweenaw County. Well, technically it's all Keweenaw County, but Isle Royale and the mainland, there are a couple of strong storms out here. So if you know anyone boating between mainland and the island right now, it's going to be kind of tough to do. Dodging a couple hailstones out there as well. I believe these special rain warnings are just for hail. There's pretty deep cores on them, but they do say wind and hail. So that is something to be monitoring. If you have anyone that might be on a boat out there, let them know if you can. Or if you know anyone boating in any one of these blue boxes this afternoon and evening, is not the place to be. That is basically the equivalent of a severe thunderstorm warning over the water. And so you do not want to be out there in the choppy waves, getting blasted by hail. Not fun. So seek safe harbor immediately if you are inside a special marine warning listed in one of these blue boxes you see on your screen. I know on the MSC app right now it is, I believe, a pinkish color. So, but here on the GR2 software, it is a blue box. So you have to take that into account. And there is, as mentioned, that line you can see on radar is expected to fill in. So while there isn't much in Houghton County and Keweenaw County yet, there is still some rain and thunderstorms developing on Lake Superior right now. So we should see this fill in with time this evening. The heaviest, the rain, of course, the flooding threat is going to be with this cell short term, Ontonagon County, Gogebic County, perhaps heading towards southern Houghton County and northern Iron.
Thank you, Joel. Back over here to western UP here. I think the worst of this is going to be over the Connerville area, about to move into Tula and Lake Gogebic in the next couple of minutes. Thomaston as well. We're up here as well on the east-northeast edge of this warning. We have Greenland, Rockland, I'm assuming these are townships, Pori, as well as Victoria areas. Zooming out, kind of hitting the play button, letting things evolve. We're going to see the movement on this is off to the east with a bit of a slight northward movement. And we do expect more storms to kind of fill in and develop as the evening goes on. If forecast models have any validity to them today, after they cross, we're going to say like Munising Marquette area, there's a weakening trend that's denoted on models. Storms will continue, but the severe threat seems to be kind of tied more so to this blue box almost. After it moves out of that blue box, it should start to weaken at least as the sun goes down as we get past 9-10 o'clock this evening. So next couple hours will be the worst of it. At least it should be the worst of it. And we expect it to kind of die down close to sunset or after sunset.
Two things, Ryan. One, you can, I don't know if you wanted to, but you can expand the number of frames. I notice you have 6 frames shown right now. You can expand that in the settings up there. I forgot where it was at. I think it's a drop down in the radar settings. Yeah. Yes, it's in the radar settings.
I got it.
While you do that, also, I was mentioning to Ryan before we started here, there is a little bit of some lake breeze interaction and a little bit of a surface vorticity current that is stretched across portions of Marquette, Alger, and Delta County. So kind of in that Trinary and Rock region, kind of similar to what we saw a couple weeks ago. And so that could very briefly, if storms can maintain their strength all the way over there to this corridor between Marquette and Escanaba, we could see a brief little bit of spin interact with this line of storms. We could see a brief tornado threat kind of develop, but again, that is not the main threat today. I'm just letting you guys know right now from a meteorological standpoint what is happening across the central UP right now. There are a couple bits of, again, a little bit of spin at the lower levels of the atmosphere that are not really present right now to the west. So as that line of storms moves towards the Marquette down to Escanaba region, so again, Rock to Trinary, we could see a little bit of that lake breeze interaction kind of come into play. And you never know, funkiness could happen, but at the current time, that is not what is happening. We are watching the storms well off to the west here in the Ontonagon region.
Areas downstream of these storms currently not in a warning would be Ewan, Bruce Crossing. Also have areas like Rockland, Mass City. Take a little bit to get to Marininsko, Watersmeet, Covington, Sidnot areas, but those are also downstream. Let's talk about Lance, Pelkey, and Zeba areas as well, probably next couple of hour or perhaps 2 hours.
The storm is getting actually really close to our Lake Gogebic camera there in Berglund. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, it's down on the dashboard, but it might be up in easy view.
Okay. Double check. Oh yeah, wow. I picked the perfect time for it to.
Are you sharing?
Give me a sec. I'm trying to go as quick as I can here. I think I have to.
Thank you, Red, for your support of the channel there. I see you get the memberships. Appreciate you. One thing you'll notice as well on the MSC Pro version are these little colored boxes that highlight the storm risk. The storm risk on these storms is actually kind of on the lower end. The one that's warned currently is 25% chance of severe with wind and hail, both leading hazards there. The updraft of these storms is still strengthening and undergoing development here over the next couple hours. So these storms, in theory, we predict these storms to be intensifying as the evening goes on close to sunset before they start weakening.
Take me full.
Courtesy here of Timberline Sports, facing to the east-southeast there in Berglund.
This moving quick. You can see the wind as well.
Yeah.
Even though it's not warned for wind, there's still a wind component to it. Some leaves coming off the trees as well.
For good measure, I'll go ahead and pull up a power outage map as well so we can kind of track if anything's coming in. Looks like there are 0 outages currently in both Gogebic and Ontonagon counties, which is good news. Let's hope that trend continues throughout the night. I want to thank Timberline Sports there. Go ahead and take back the radar there. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the west central part of the UP. We have not covered that either. We'll go ahead and lift this off here. We have Alger, Baraga, Delta, Dickinson, Iron, Marquette, Menominee, and Schoolcraft counties. Again, that's Alger, Baraga, Delta, Dickinson, Iron, Marquette, Menominee, Schoolcraft. Also, in addition, Gogebic, Houghton, Keweenaw, and Ontonagon counties. They kind of split this between the central and the western. I didn't notice that until after I was done reading. So, several counties in effect here for the watch that goes until 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central for those of you on the Wisconsin border. This is Michigan. This is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. This is all belongs to Michigan up here.
Yeah, we didn't give it to Wisconsin. Sorry, Wisconsin.
Yeah. We could have, but we thought the UP was cool, so we took it for ourselves. And yes, this is your formal announcement on live air here. The MSC app is available to download on both stores, even for those of you with Androids. So if you have not got it yet, it would be a great day to go get it. Also, if you do have the app, please update your version to the latest update.
Yes.
We have a lot of people complaining about bugs still, and we ask what version, and they're on the original release version. So go to your App Store, Google Play Store, type in Michigan Storm Chasers, or find the My Apps, My Subscription section, and then you'll see an update button. Click that. Latest version is 2.1.743. That fixes a ton of bugs, including the pro linking issue a lot of you guys are having.
That's what I was going to answer as well. There's a question on here about, wait a minute, there's a web version. The answer is yes, but it's still in development. We're using it right now. We have the admin board here, so
Speaking
in the future we'll have it out. Go ahead, Ryan.
Speaking of the admin board here, Joel, should we send the one of the custom alerts out for the UP folks to want to tune into coverage?
I can do that while
Okay.
you continue to.
Yeah, best part about this app is if we go live like right now, if you're in the UP here, down like Covington, Marquette, Republic, anywhere downstream, we can go ahead and alert you guys that hey, we're live tracking storms heading your way, which is we're gonna utilize that a lot more here in the future. But for those of you with the app in the Western UP, you're probably gonna get an alert here from Joel soon.
I think it's going to show up as a box on the radar.
Yep. This is all new to us. It's all new to you guys as well. We're excited to continue to, learn this as well as broadcast this. I'm very excited how this is all going to evolve in the next couple of months. So if you're just tuning in, we are live currently tracking this yellow box / polygon up here in the very far western half of the UP. It's going to be in effect for portions of Gogebic and Ontonagon counties. Your hazard with this particular warning is $half size hail. We're not talking quarters. We're talking a bit bigger than that. We're talking $half. The wind continues to be less than 50 miles per hour, which means that is not severe wind, but as Joel just talked about a few minutes ago, that wind at Bergland at Timberline Sports did look pretty gusty there. Didn't look severe, but did at very least look gusty. So there is still some wind aspect, but just not reaching severe limits so far. Downstream areas, Marininsko is on deck, Ewan is on deck, Bruce Crossing will be on deck here. Also looking at the Ethelwood area about to be impacted, not being impacted right now. This is actually a little bit older scan. Let's get this back to current. I have 4 screens for some reason. My mouse is going haywire. I think I got it fixed though, but there we go. So it's impacting Lake Gogebic right now, Ethelwood right now, looking at Hartley, Topaz areas, Victoria, and Pori. On deck would be Bruce Crossing, North Paynesville, Matchwood, White City, as mentioned, Marininsko, Wellington, and Gogebic. So far, there continues to be 0 outages reported in these counties here, which is fantastic news. So that tells us that the wind is staying well below severe criteria, which is what we want to see. Looking at that area there, just north of Bergland, Joel, on the map here, taking a look at the velocity, it's quite interesting. It's like a little bit of downburst perhaps occurring in there. Maybe some broad rotation, but probably more of a downburst nature. Updated on the warning, they did trim it just ever so slightly. That continues for just your hazard of $half size hail. So no major concern there still for wind, which is great news. Also got some little showers popping up here just south of, is it Skaney or Skinny? Skaney? East of Lance. Thank you, Tracy, for your membership. Appreciate you. To the chat here. Papa says, I never thought I'd hear someone say Ethelwood on a live stream. Hey, you just heard us say it. Anything bad happened yet? Not that we know of. Reports in the UP are usually pretty slow just because of the more sparse population. So there very well could be severe hail falling that we're not hearing about right now, but we may hear about later. So we treat it seriously. The hail core on this is pretty potent. We got the hail tracker. You're going to see on the other radar I'm using, you're going to see the hail tracker is lit up here in several areas from Rockland down between Berglund and White Pine areas, all the way down toward Bessemer and Wakefield. We're looking for those reds, purples, and whites in particular. But there is enough in there that tells me there's likely some pretty, I'm not going to say large hail, but, well, I'm going to say large hail, but I'm not going to say extremely large hail. There's probably hail falling. Some of it's probably severe, is what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Richard. It's Scaney. Gotcha. Gerald says, I live in Scaney. Thanks for the call out. You betcha. We're watching them. Head in your direction. Good news, though, for right now is up there in your area. It's just showers popping up right now. You may get the pavement wet here soon, but otherwise, the heavier stuff, the more strong stuff, is still off to your west. Input the link in that if you didn't already, Joel.
Yep, I am.
Thank you.
It's going to show up as another MSC weather bulletin.
All right. Sounds good.
Just because it's going to pop in as an actual alert, so I have to make it a bulletin.
Yeah. Guys, it's not the 5th, right? No, it is August 7th. It is current time 5:49 p.m. Eastern, Friday, August 7th. The date and the time will always be in the bottom right of our streams. It is baked into that warning bar. So that is going to be your current live time. If you are outside of about 30 seconds of that live time, resync yourself on stream here. A few second delay is normal, 10, 15 seconds, that's normal. But if you're about a half minute to a minute or more out of sync with us, I'd recommend refreshing whatever platform you're on to make sure you're synced up here with the latest information coming in.
It didn't help that for whatever reason the description and title didn't update on YouTube, so I had to go and fix that just now. It said August 5th.
Oh. I even reset.
I did too, yeah. I
I
did it like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, that's our third-party software kind of being a little funky there. We apologize for that. That will be going away more than likely for next year. We'll see. In the meantime, we also have a camera up at Krups Resort in Twin Lakes. Get that pulled up here and ready. In fact, I can go ahead and pull it in right now. So we have another tool we're using. It's going to be our camera network here. This is going to be launching. It already launched to beta testers and also our sponsors. We have some tweaking of some stuff to do, but we also have a couple things we can show off here. So this is the camera dashboard you guys will be able to access here soon. You can basically search for a camera. I typed in KR, brought Krups Resort. You can open the camera, and all of a sudden you can look at the camera 24/7, 365 here. So there is your view in Krups Resort facing to the east-northeast. As you can see, getting pretty dark out there, but otherwise it is calm for the most part, for now at least. The trees are just dead calm. There ain't a breeze there. And yeah, it's moving too. The time is moving.
Alert expires in 4 hours. For the
Thank you.
bulletin. If need be, you can cancel it early, obviously, Ryan.
Yep, I got you. So that's going to be a tool we're going to be using coming up next couple of streams. But in the meantime, the alert just went out. I just got it for myself. I have location set in Marquette, so I just got it. Those of you in the UP should just got that alert as well. You also see it pop on this map here shortly. At least it should pop up here. Let's go ahead and refresh.
10 seconds probably.
Yeah.
10 to 30 seconds. It's a pretty big
There it
alert,
is.
so I'm sure it's going to take a little bit longer.
Is this? Nope, that's the watch. But Cindy says, thank you for all you do. Have heard of Arrowvolt Weather Station. I have not, Cindy. I have not heard of that. If I need to look into it, I will definitely look into it, though. In the meantime, we have some development up here by White and Winona, McKeever, Greenland areas. This map we're using has a lot of townships on it, so these might not be cities, but they may be little population centers with a few houses here and there. So these are probably areas that a lot of you may have not even heard of before. So Rockland, Victoria, McKeever, Greenland, Russo, and Pori would be the general areas here on deck outside that warning polygon. In the meantime, we do have storms approaching Marininsko still, as well as the White City, the southern edge of Lake Ogeechobee, as well as Topaz.
I don't even see the alert.
Yeah, not yet. It might take a few seconds to load in. I'm not worried about it. It was a bulletin you said, so it'd be tan.
It should be, but I think it just circled the entire United States. I'm not 100% sure.
That'd be crazy if it did. I don't see it on my end. That's okay. As long as you guys got the alert.
Oh,
What?
wow.
What happened?
Okay, so that just did all of Canada. I don't know how that happened.
What?
Oh no, just kidding. That's something that they issued this. I was like, wait a minute, that's not mine, is it?
False
I
alarm.
was like, oh, wait a minute. There's a big old black polygon. If you zoom out on the map, you can see that big old black polygon over all of Canada.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I definitely made mine tan. Just don't know why it's not showing up. Oh well.
Regardless, you guys got the alert. That's what matters. Go ahead and animate this.
I also did it for the UP only, most of the UP only, so I didn't get it in the Lower Peninsula.
Gotcha. I want to take note here. I have a strengthening cell over here. We just mentioned this a little bit ago, but this over by White and Winona areas is catching my eye. It's intensifying here. You can see on this map the hail, the pink/purple colors starting to intensify there. This is going to be over the Lake Mine area. This is going to be, what road is this? Doesn't have a name on this road. Probably a 2-track trail. Go ahead and look at this. This is going to be M38 actually near Mass City. It's going to be right along Old Railroad Grade and Courtney Lake roads. It's going to be some decent hail, what appears to be decent hail, falling outside of that warning polygon. Again, this is going to be just to the east of Mass City, west of Pelkey, near the McKeever, Greenland, and Wasas area. Otherwise, this warning continues as these storms are approaching the end of this polygon down by Ethelwood. We have a core down here that is looking like it could be some hail mixed in by Ethelwood. Also, we have a couple areas up here worth noting near White Pine and Topaz that it doesn't look overly concerning for hail anymore. If I go ahead and take back my other radar here, I'll do that. We'll look at the hail tracker on this particular radar software. You're going to see there's a couple areas here, and that's going to be the one down here heading out of the polygon near Marininsko. And also the biggest concern that I'm seeing is on the hail tracker is up there on the unwarned cell near the Mass City area. So those are going to be the two areas to watch. Also got a little bit of a perhaps downburst signature mixed in still there, just north of Berglund. So it could be some pretty gusty winds north and a little bit east of Berglund as well. The Krups Resort camera is actually just over here from this new cell that popped up. So it's probably not going to get a good look at it immediately, but as it passes, it'll pass right in front of the camera there. Also taking note, we have some additional development over Lake Superior moving into the western UP over the next couple hours. Also up here in the Keweenaw area, these cells, they may scrape the shoreline here by Eagle Harbor and shoreline areas of Keweenaw, but that should mainly stay over water. I have yet to get any reports here out of the UP of any weather, which is not surprising. We have a lot of users over there. We have a couple, but not a whole lot.
Keep an eye on that storm. I know you have been. The lead cell over there by the Skaney area.
Yep.
But yeah, I got some plans tonight, everybody. So I do have to hop off here in like 2 minutes. So, Ryan's got you covered.
Yeah, I got you.
Stay safe out there. And yeah, keep following along. Ryan's got you covered the rest of the way tonight. And as always, make sure to download the MSD app. It's free to do.
All right. Thank you, Joel, for your help this evening. Wave hi to Joel. He's going to go off the screen in 3, 2, 1, and it's just me now. Make sure we are all set to go here. We are. Cool. Perfect. Welcome in, guys. Just me and you. Richard says, nothing in Watersmeet gets crazy. I'll let you know. Yeah, Watersmeet, you guys got a little bit of time here before these storms get to you. So not too concerned about you guys right immediately. Looking at the overall scheme of things here, over here by the Skaney areas, we have, again, cells developing along that lake breeze that Joel was talking about a few minutes ago. Got some nice little pop-ups here heading into Skaney, also in this area, heading up toward Huron Mountain. So keep an eye on those. Marquette County, I believe this is, as well as Baraga County. Yeah, Baraga and Marquette counties. Still watching this lead cell here. Would not be shocked if they issue a statement or perhaps another warning for this area. This is going to be in the very far, it's going to be Houghton County as well as perhaps very far eastern portions of Ontonagon counties as well. We'll see what they do with this, if they do anything at all. There's a bug flying around me. There is a hail tracker that looks pretty decent on this. By decent, I mean fairly showing some larger hail potentially here just east of Rockland. Also want to take note that cell just east of Skaney, heading up toward that Huron Mountain area, has a very distinct hail core feature on it as well on this hail tracker. So this is actually intensifying very rapidly here, but at least the good news is, for the time being at least, this storm is about to be over water if it continues on its northeast track. So it's going to impact areas just west of Big Bay and east of Skaney. I'm sure people live here, but the good news is no population centers that I see are in the path, but could have some hail falling out of that storm between Skaney and Big Bay. The warning here expires in about half hour longer. Would not be shocked if they were to expire that early. The storm is now exiting on the south side of that warning into Marinesco areas along M64 here on the south side of Lake Gogebic. And also up here, we have a few areas just north of Matchwood that are showing up on the velocity here. Perhaps some wind, some stronger winds mixing in here just to the east and north of Berglund, north of Matchwood here. Those are moving to about to the east here toward the Rockland and Bruce Crossing corridors here. M45 is the general region I'm seeing. So we'll watch that carefully. If you're on the back end of this polygon here, back in the like Wakefield up to the north part of this warning polygon, you guys are getting largely just some lighter rain, probably some thunder mixed in there. So you guys, I'm not going to give you guys the all clear just yet, but you guys are pretty much close to being all clear there. Obviously stay indoors until you don't hear any thunder anymore. I do want to take attention back here to these two cells here. The ones I'm most concerned about at the current moment, get my draw tool out here. Looking at this one over there, this cell right here, and then this cell right there. These three cells, I got to change my draw tool here, make it thicker for you guys. There we go. So this cell here, and then this area right there. These are all moving to the east, a little bit north at roughly 30 miles per hour. Cell number 1 over here, hail. Cell number 2 here, hail. Cell number 3, wind. That is my concern at the current time. So taking us one by one here, going 1, 2, and 3, we're going to notice a few things. First and foremost, I got this dumb pen. There we go. First cell here. We just talked about this. Heading off into Lake Superior, but in the meantime, if you do happen to live between the storm and Lake Superior here, I don't have any lake labels on this, but I see a lot of 2-track trails, so I have to imagine there's probably sparsely populated areas on the path of this. Be concerned for some hail there. Cell number 2, hail is your primary concern. This is about to cross into Houghton County here along M38 and M26, just west of Pelkey. This is heading your direction toward Pelkey, Assassins, and Lance areas, so be mindful of that. Cell number 3, wind. No population centers here, but just north of Matchwood, we are concerned for a little bit of some heavier wind there with that brighter green showing up, and does match very closely to the reflectivity, which could mean a couple things. Could mean that we could be seeing some stronger winds there because it lines up pretty good. That's what's going on right now. Back to chat here. Cindy asks, when does our help start? Well, funny you asked that, Cindy. We just wrapped up our last day of interviews today. So next week we'll be meeting as a team to discuss options. But either direction we go in, we are going to have some very, very solid candidates, which I'm very excited for you all to meet. We'll zoom out for you guys. We'll take a look here at the motion. As you can see, mostly to the east, but a little bit of a deviant movement to the north there is definitely noted with these cells. So do expect it to drift a little bit to the north as the day goes on. Downstream areas here that are in the path, but not yet immediate concern. Covington, Lance, Iron River, Amasa. There we go. Should Houghton be worried about the cells off of Lake Superior? Potentially. Potentially for sure. Keep an eye on those because those are blossoming very rapidly here. Whether they're severe or not, I don't know, but they're heading your direction. And once they get on land, I would not be shocked to see those go strong to severe as well. The warning was just trimmed here. They did continue it for $half size hail, but surprisingly enough, they did not add a wind concern here. It still remains less than 50 miles per hour. So keep that in mind. It does not, they may be seeing this wind and perhaps thinking it could be elevated in nature, which means it's not mixing down to the surface. So keep that in mind. They probably are thinking that's the case with this particular storm. Yeah, as a reminder, when we're live like this, we focus in on the immediate concern here. Sometimes we'll kind of answer and stray off to answer questions, but in the immediate short term here, we track what's on our screen. I will go ahead and give you guys an overview for those of you living downstate in the Lower Peninsula. Right now on radar, there is pretty much nothing. There's a little blip actually on radar here, just west of Houghton Lake. That's the only thing I see on radar. Very small, 1 mile square, it's like 1 square mile here, just north of Falmouth. So there's that. Also, we have some pop-ups actually happening here I do want to take note of that here across the southern part of Michigan. Now I see Hudsonville. There's one popping up here in the Lake Breeze near Hudsonville. Also have one popping up near the Dansville, Leslie area. These are not expected to be severe, but if you have outdoor plans, there is a chance. Keyword, there is chance you may have some raindrops fall on your head there. These should be pretty isolated in nature as the evening goes on, but we do have a little pop-ups there popping up. We'll keep an eye on that. Those were not there about a half hour ago, so now they're there. We'll keep an eye on it. But for the time being, no concern there. Just one or two little sprinkles for some of you guys. That'll be good. This warning continues for another 22 more minutes. There are no other warnings currently in effect. Would not be shocked to get some more warnings here soon. Yeah, those prompts are only for our moderators. So if you're going to try and use them, don't even try. It's not going to work for you. Julie says, I've got some clouds bubbling up by me. She's down in the general vicinity of Lansing. There's a new warning coming in, actually, for Baraga and Marquette counties. I'm going to assume it's going to be... I'm not entirely sure where it's going to be at, actually. Wait for it to pop in here. In fact, I just got it on our software before we got on Weatherfront. So we'll go and take our software. The yellow polygon flashing on your screen, that's going to be that new cell we were talking about that showed a really big hail core there. This warning is going to be in effect. We'll go and take a peek at this. Quarter-sized hail, and that is all. Winds less than 50 miles per hour in effect till 7 p.m. That's about 50 more minutes. So keep that in mind, guys. This is going to be in the path here, heading toward Huron Mountain and the Big Bay areas. They may also be kind of accounting for what's heading up toward the Skaney areas as well. But in the meantime, the main concern here is going to be this cell in the Huron Mountain areas just west of Big Bay, east of Skaney. So take that into consideration if you are out on Lake Superior. I believe Josh and Jace are somewhere up in the UP today. If I heard correctly, they're at Pictured Rocks earlier. I'm not sure where they're heading, but hopefully they are aware of what's going on here this evening. This is going to be just west of Marquette, north and west of Marquette, by the Huron Mountain, Big Bay areas. So now we have two warnings in effect here. Take a zoomed out look for you guys. Hit animate. There you go. Janelle says, I think they're in Marquette now. Well, hopefully they are staying tuned in to what's coming their way from the west. Marquette's not in immediate danger, but it could be under the gun a little bit later on this evening. The only report that I have so far this evening is going to be out of the Ironwood area. We have a video sent in from a viewer of rain. Some pretty hard rain there as the storm first moved in. And you guys can report weather anytime you'd like in the app, MSC app. We would appreciate if you utilize that over sending us messages on Facebook. We can pull it up in real time and share with you all here in real time, just like I just did. We also have a couple reports heading up downstream here. We have a report coming in there of strong storms. That's obviously not true. There's nothing on radar there. Also got some reports popping in here around the Hudsonville area. Does anybody have any pictures of what's going on here? Text. Here's a picture up here. Let's check out, I'll verify this before I share this, but there we go. This is a good one. It's kind of sideways, but it works. So this is courtesy of Shane out of the Hudsonville area. Tilt your head sideways. I can't tilt it manually as far as I know. But that is a nice development there of a likely storm as that moves to the east. So thank you, Shane, for submitting that picture. It's going to be taken from the Allendale area. So that's how our new reporting works. I'm very excited to utilize that more often. Is that, man, Iowa's going off today. If you have any friends and family up in Iowa, that's going off with severe and tornado warnings over there in the Cedar Rapids area. Luckily, though, not expecting that to happen tornado-wise tonight in Michigan. But as always, we are on the lookout just in case. Update, the warning that originally got us to go live for Ontonagon and Gogebic has been canceled. That is no longer in effect. So we are down to one warning up here in the Baraga and Marquette areas. But just because that warning was dropped, we still have some pretty strong storms ongoing here, moving into Bruce Crossing, Russo, White areas, as well as White City and Martinsco. So this is moving off slowly to the east as time goes on. Right now, current time, bottom right of your screen, 6:13 p.m. Eastern. The cell up, new warning now coming in for Baraga, Houghton, and Ontonagon. Probably gonna be for the cell. Yep, there it is. It's already popping on their screen. That's quick. That was really quick. New polygon now popping in on your screen here. Portage Entry, Chassel, Arnheim, Keweenaw Bay, Beartown, Pelkey, Alston, White, Elo, and Winona areas. This warning's in effect. Check out the hazards with it. $half size hail is your primary concern there, located near Nisula or 18 miles west of Baraga, moving northeast at 15 miles per hour. The source is radar indicated. So once again, $half size hail possible. The worst of this core is located along M38 and M26 here near the White and Alston areas where you see the darker reds and that little dash of pink mixed in there. That's going to be where the strongest hail is going to be falling basically. And this is moving off to the east northeast here toward Pelkey and Elo. Not immediate, but it will be heading your way here probably next 10 to 15 minutes. So now is your chance to take shelter. For shelter from hail, you want to be away from windows, indoors obviously, and putting yourself an interior room. And the biggest thing though with hail is just stay away from windows, because you don't want hail coming through, breaking windows and getting glass everywhere. That's just not ideal. So the best way you can protect yourself from hail is stay away from windows. So for those of you submitting reports, I only have severe reports turned on for right now. So there might be more reports I'm missing out here from you guys. I can turn those on quick to kind of get an idea, but let those load in here. For the most part, when we're in severe coverage, I like to look at the more, I'm not going to say more important things, but the stuff that we're trying to kind of pick and choose would be like hail reports, damage reports, stuff like that. I don't see anything pop. Oh, there we go. We have a couple things popping in there. No pictures though that I see, just reports. But those little icons that pop on your screen, those are the reports. Downstream here, there's a couple. There's a video actually sent in there. Got a picture here. Go ahead and verify some of these, and I'll go ahead and show you guys if they are obviously worth showing. But up here in the UP, the storm up here in the Big Bay area that got warned has really taken a weakening trend very abruptly. It was looking very healthy there, and all of a sudden it's kind of petered out there. So that's at least good news. Main concern here would be this cell heading up toward Pelkey for the time being. Checking out some of these pictures sent in from down close to Grand Rapids area. Got a couple of videos and pictures sent in here. We'll take a look at these quick. Not really seeing too much here. You guys are awesome though, getting all these reports sent in. This is gonna be fantastic on these bigger days. Here's one sent in. I'll go ahead and show this one. This is what appears to be from the Granville area, sent in by Anonymous. So keep that in mind. I won't say your name or anything, but this is the video we just got. So rain is falling here in the Granville area, which is just to the south of Grand Rapids. I don't see any hail falling there, so just some moderate rainfall there being shown, which is expected. But thank you for that video sent in by Anonymous. Appreciate you. Keeping a very close eye on things as storms are starting to bubble up there across southern Michigan. I want to reiterate that severe weather is not really expected tonight in South Michigan. Obviously, Michigan can do some pretty weird things occasionally, so we don't want to ever say it's impossible, because that would just be completely false. But it's not expected with the overall environment today. We'll put it that way. All right, back up here. Check out the wind velocity on that Rockland cell. It continues to be pretty impressive, to be completely honest. Outage-wise, go ahead and refresh this, make sure I'm at the latest. Still have 0 outages reported, so there is some positive signs there that these winds are certainly not mixing down to the ground. But I do want to take note that the brighter greens may indicate some stronger winds just south of Rockland here, moving into the Rockland area toward Mass City as well, just south of M38 along US 45 here. Indications are that it's not mixing to the ground, but we don't know that for sure. This warning up here continues for about 40 more minutes, and the one that was previously issued by the Big Bay area, those storms have petered out pretty quickly. So those are going to be on Lake Superior here shortly in the meantime. So that's going to be no longer our problem here in Michigan shortly. If you're a boater or marine life, that is your problem, but for the land areas, won't be a problem here soon. Only warning currently in effect now going to be, or can't say that. The only concern that I have right now would be this this area right here. 2 areas really, Pelkey and also Rockland. The Rockland storm is not severe. The Pelkey storm is. $0.5 size hail is your hazard there. So if you're in Pelkey or anywhere around that, just in the yellow polygon here, in general, you guys should be taking shelter inside, away from windows, as the storm moves through. Looking at velocity here, there's nothing that stands out to me for any big wind or rotation even. It just seems to be pretty straightforward here as a hail risk. Your hail tracker is definitely, it was looking a little bit more intense here as that storm went warned, and it's since kind of started to weaken. So that's a good sign here, but it is on its current track, will impact or pass just north of Pelkey. Hail tracker on all these storms looks pretty minimal at the current time. This is about 9 minutes old. So we're still on an old scan up here for this storm. I expect that to really weaken out on the next scan that comes in here on the hail tracker. In the meantime, though, regardless, we'll treat this as perhaps some hail still falling. I don't see road names or city names out here. There it is. Huron Mountain Club Road is the next road on deck there, and after that it goes on to Lake Superior. So that won't be an issue here shortly. Taking a reset here, zooming out, animating. I am Ryan, tuning in here is Michigan Storm Chasers. We're live here tracking severe weather in the UP of Michigan. For those of you watching, the threat today and this evening should primarily stay up in the UP, especially on the central and western half. After we get on the east half of the UP, I do expect there to be a little bit of a weakening trend that should keep things more at bay. But in the meantime, we are in the heart of this event. What's going to be most intense should be happening over the next hour to 3 hours or so. Further south, further downstate, by the Gaylord area, the radar is clear. There's a little bit of a pop-up that tried to get going down here by Houghton Lake along M55, but that did not do anything, or at least it's currently not doing anything besides raining itself out. Going south here, for those of you further south, Detroit radar, mostly clear for 99% of you. Could have a couple showers that try to pop up here. I have a one here along 96 near Fowlerville. A little bit heavier shower down here by 127 near Mason Leslie areas. And obviously the Grand Rapids area where we're getting a lot of reports and pictures sent in from the cell in the Hudsonville area just south of Wyoming and Kentwood areas. Otherwise, zooming out here, most of the areas are still clear. None of these storms downstate will be severe, at least not expected to be severe. As mentioned, the risk today should be subdued and primarily tied to the upper peninsula. Garrett says, let me check the MSC app. I love to hear that. Yeah, this app we're excited for it. So far, it's been a process getting those bugs handled that you guys have been reporting, but the latest version, 743, is on both Google and Apple stores. I would highly recommend going to update your app. We fixed a lot of bugs that you guys have been reporting to us. There is a bug still we have to fix, which is for some odd reason, the sunset time is sandwiched between 4 and 5 o'clock for some of you guys. So we'll all be fixed here in the latest update. We'll also have a few performance issues for the Pro radar that we need to, not Pro, but for the Mosaic radar, we're also going to push here at some point next couple of days. But otherwise, 743 version does address and fix a lot of the previous bugs. So go update if you haven't already. For Futurecast, guys, we're kind of, I'm not going to say in a lull here because there are still storms ongoing we got to pay attention to. But in the meantime, we have a lot of questions about timing and stuff. I want to show you guys quickly the Futurecast here on the model. We'll show you guys this here. Turn on the precipitation, reflectivity. There we go. This is your Futurecast on the latest high-res model. So we have storms this evening here, go hour by hour here. This is 6 p.m. here. And as you can see, it kind of resembles what's actually happening almost to a T almost. Not exactly, but I got a good idea here. So as I move this on into the evening, here's 7 o'clock, here's 8 o'clock, here's 9 o'clock, here's 10 o'clock. I want you to take notice of a few things here. The UP gets most of the heavy storms. The LP does have a few pop-ups here and there, but they're very sporadic in nature, so I wouldn't cancel your outdoor plans this evening. I just keep an eye on the MSC app radar or any radar. Just keep an eye on the sky as well to make sure you guys don't have any storms rolling in. But primarily LP will stay dry for 95% of you guys through the evening hours. Back to the UP though. This is 8 o'clock here Eastern, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and here's midnight. Those storms should be weakening after that 10 to 11 p.m. time frame. Could have a few strong storms still occurring here in the east half of the UP, but otherwise the strongest will be over the next 3 or so hours. So we'll keep an eye on this as it moves to the east. So after that, attention will turn to the next couple of days here for the severe threat. We're in particular watching Monday. It could be Monday morning or evening. It's kind of hard to depict right now, but the SPC already does have a day 4 outlook here for southern Michigan into northern Ohio and Indiana back through Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Chicago. We'll have to watch that for a organized storm cluster that may bring a damaging wind risk and maybe a chance for some spin up tornadoes, but it's 3-4 days out. Pump the brakes. Let's let these first couple days play out, and then we'll lock this in. This could easily shift out of the state, or it could shift north further into the state. We just don't know that yet. So Monday is a day to watch, though, for more substantial severe weather, as the overall pattern would support that. Back to radar, though, back to the warnings in effect in the UP. This one should be, I'm going to say, I'm going to actually predict this is probably going to be expired early here, unless they have reason to believe that these storms are going to move back in and intensify. They may keep it. Otherwise, the storm that was warned here has since weakened and is about to move on to Lake Superior. That expires about a half hour, so we'll see what they do with that. I would expect them to expire that early. Other warning in effect here for the Pelkey area. This cell is going to be about to impact you guys there in Pelkey. No wind that I'm seeing. The hail tracker here actually kind of vanished, so I wouldn't be shocked if they expire this one early as well. Nothing really is standing out to me. I will say this cell still has a hail core on it, despite it not looking good on the radar. I'm kind of curious here. If I use GR2, an advanced radar tool, I'm going to go up in height to see where that hail's at. I'm curious what this storm is doing here up in the Big Bay area. Uh, as mentioned, though, this is not going to hang out long just because it's actually half over Superior right now. But if I go up in height, curious, yeah. So the hail on this storm, it's not mixing yet to the ground here. If I actually go up, I'll take my screen here to show you guys what's happening. Very, very cool here to kind of teach you guys, teaching moment almost. So give me a second here. There we go. So this is your radar here. This is roughly 1,500 feet off the ground, right? If I go up to the third tilt, though, this is a roughly 3,500, so about 2,000 feet higher. Look at all that purple. That's your hail core there. So it's up there still a few thousand feet, but it's not really mixing to the ground fully yet. So good news, and I think a lot of this area is going to get missed by the bigger hail. But if you're the marine life out here off of Big Bay, you guys may have some pretty large hail here in a few minutes as the storm continues to develop and blossom. But yeah, the hail definitely up there, and this is actually a very intense core on this storm that's up to 15,000 feet. Go even higher. There's 20,000. This is a pretty healthy storm. Just not fully mixing down to the surface just yet. Probably melting as it does so a little bit. So that's at least some good news there. Back to chat. I see happy Friday. Yes, it is Friday. That's awesome. Weekends are always more relaxed around here. I like it, but we are never sleeping on a severe threat. There's actually a risk a little bit tomorrow and also on Sunday as well. So I'll be in the studio all weekend long here, keeping you guys informed, going live as needed. So obviously the hope is that we can end stuff early and get out of here so we can all have a nice weekend. But if I'm needed, I'm here for it. Linda asked, what's for dinner? You know what? I'm actually getting pretty hungry. So I got to decide that here soon. Tomorrow is my birthday. Well, happy birthday, STGA O'Brien. Appreciate you hopping in here. New warning popped in on my phone. There has been no new warning to my knowledge issued. I didn't hear anything on the alert bar. Didn't get a notification. Nothing like that. Yes, there are options to smooth the radar for sure. If you don't want it to be pixeled, obviously the pixels, they help us, me and Joel, because pixels are more accurate than a smooth radar. But you can't go wrong with smooth as well if you prefer that. Gonna watch for outages here in this area where the brighter greens are showing up. Also, a cool feature I love with our app is the swipe mode. It makes it really easy for me because I don't have to toggle through 2 or 3 radar settings. I can actually just kind of use one, swipe back and forth here. That's beneficial for me at least, because I hate going through all sorts of windows and changing scenes and making you guys go, I can't keep up with this. I'm having a seizure. It's all on one screen now, which is awesome. Zooming out, taking a look at things here. Animation. Here we go. Storms moving to the east, a bit northeast as well, about 30 or so miles per hour. 2 warnings in effect. One is up by the Big Bay area. That storm is now over Lake Superior. The other warning in effect there for the Pelkey area, and that is also looking a little bit more meager than what it was at the original warning. So there is a good chance we may be warning free here soon, but that doesn't mean we're over for the night. The storms, we expect them at least, to continue to intensify, as well as kind of go off and on, warned and unwarned. So it'll be a little bit of a busy evening here, we expect. The hope, obviously, is that we are not busy. We can hop off here early. That's our cross your fingers and hope situation. But the atmosphere today does support severe weather, primarily wind and some hail. Tornadoes not really expected today. If there are going to be anything tornadic wise, it had to be kind of aided by a storm interaction where storms merge together, or perhaps a lake breeze boundary or an outflow boundary. Also want to take note, we have some development here across the Michigami Republic areas. Go ahead and pause this on the latest scan here. My mouse is not working properly today. I hate that. So there are your two cells popping up here near Michigami. That's just started its life cycle here. This is heading off toward Marquette region in general. So we'll keep an eye on those. Right now, though, they're just getting themselves, we'll call it the little updrafts that could. We'll see if they develop into anything. How many people have downloaded the app? We have roughly, last I checked, 92,000. So we're approaching to six figures. We'll get there. We'll get there soon. Connor says, Lotch of SynH. I have not looked at mesoanalysis, so I will do so now. As a reminder, there is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the western and central portions of the UP. So the SPC does think we're going to have numerous storms here this evening that will go severe. I'm going to look at the SynH here. So SynH, for those of you who don't know, is basically capping. You'll hear it referred to as a cap, which is essentially a warm layer of air in the atmosphere that prevents storms from rooting themselves at the surface. When a storm roots itself into the surface, it can tap into our instability. It can become prolific wind producer, a tornado producer as well sometimes. But when we have a cap in place, storms can't tap in or have a harder time tapping into that fuel on the surface. So when that happens, we get usually more of a hail risk and maybe some wind mix in at some cases, but usually it's a hail risk. Those are also the days and setups you hear a lot of loud thunder because that cap kind of holds the sound in. Looking at the mesoanalysis, though, I don't see much of a cap in place here. I'm looking at the point value table. There's actually very little SynH out there, which is our cap. So I'm not too concerned about that. There is a lot of capping on the eastern half of the UP, but where these storms are currently at, I don't see much in the way of any capping there. I wonder if it's mixed layer. Let's try the mixed layer. Nope, mixed layer is uncapped as well. Yeah, so don't see too much there. Scott says, just installed your app. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. The Marquette has continued the severe warning for $half size hail for Baraga, Houghton, and Ontonagon counties. So that'll be this polygon over here. They warned it initially for this cell right here in Pelkey area, but you have this Heffenchonker moving up in that area as well. So they're probably just under the mindset of, hey, keep it in effect. We have another storm coming through. So this was the original storm here. They got warned, and now the concern's kind of shifting back here to the west. So that's my take on things here. Speaking of that secondary storm, though, check out the velocity on this. It does continue to show a lot of wind happening here. I don't have any reports of outages, though. I'll refresh the outage map here quickly. I don't have a single outage from either of these counties being impacted. So good news continues. But that wind is intensifying further as well. So we may see an increase here over the next couple of minutes with the wind here. To show you guys what it looks like on radar here, if I go ahead and swipe this over, there's your brighter greens here near the McKeever and Pori areas, heading toward White and Alston along M38, M26 near Pelkey. So that's going to be our concern here, primary concern over the next couple of minutes at least. We'll have to kind of watch and see how it all plays out. Going back down here to... that's why. There we go. I forgot that I changed my my radar to GR2 there for a brief minute, so I had to bring my weather front back up. You guys are crazy. I mean that in a good way. So that one cell that popped up down here in Hudsonville, and it's pretty much gone already, right? Look how many reports we have from you guys. That's crazy. Just from that one storm. So there's your zoomed out look reports. This is last, I think, 3 hours here. So it's crazy. I will go ahead and pull this back up here. I will look through them and see if I can see anything that's worth broadcasting. There's that video we just watched. Yeah, not too much here. I don't expect much. It was just a shower that kind of popped up, so nothing too crazy going on. We actually have a picture here sent from one of our moderators, Julie. This is actually worth showing you guys. This is a distant storm here that's popped up here over the last couple of minutes in the Eaton County, Ingham County areas. That is still hanging out, but it's kind of weakening as well, but it's very pretty. So thank you, Julie, for sending that in. Appreciate you. And that's going to be on this cell right here near the Mason area. If I back this up, kind of popped up there just to the east of Eaton Rapids, and then I moved to the east. So pretty cool. Report coming in here from the Pori areas. Anonymous reporting heavy rain there. There's no picture attached there, so got a report they're coming in for heavy rain. That is to be expected, though, to be completely fair. We have a lot of rain moving through the areas. If you guys have any flooding area or any flooding out of that rain, please let us know. Yeah, that report's just on the edge of that that storm moving in. So Jack says, I tried to report mostly clear, but hit strong storms. Was that you down there in that South Michigan, Jack? If that is, I got you. It's all good. We had one person report a tsunami earlier. That was kind of fun. Please don't abuse the report system. We can block people from reporting, so please do not abuse the system. We will know. Two warnings remain in effect here. Will not be shocked if the Big Bay one is canceled early. This one up here. Wouldn't be shocked at all. All right, my main concern is going to be this complex over here near the Winona area, White and Wasas township areas, heading up toward Pelkey. The warning in effect for $half size hail. No wind on this still. Oh, actually, they just upgraded this. They just continue this. So we'll take this radar here. We'll zoom back in. They just upgraded the warning here to 60 mile per hour winds. And that's to be expected here too, just because those brighter greens showing up are really, I'm not going to say overly concerning, but they are concerning nonetheless here, just because you have these blue pixels mixing in, which the blue pixels do indicate winds here of 59, 58, close to 60 miles per hour, which is right around that severe criteria. 58 and greater is what we consider to be severe. So that is moving through the areas. Also, there is a couple areas down here outside the polygon that might also get some pretty gusty winds here as well that is not currently warned. So if you're down just west and north of Sidnall outside this polygon in Houghton County, be alert. You guys may have some pretty gusty winds there soon, or experiencing it now perhaps. The warning up here for Big Bay has just officially been expired, so that's no longer in effect. We have one warning now. in effect for the entire state. There are no air quality alerts for the time being that I'm aware of. Air quality may be impacted over the weekend, especially into Monday, as our northwest flow comes back and kind of moves things from the western U.S. and some from Canada as well. I'll have more details on that tomorrow. I am on the page operations tomorrow, so if there's anything smoke related, I'll post it for you guys tomorrow morning. In the meantime, though, these storms, I would say, for the most part, most of everybody's getting some garden variety storms, but there's a few areas here of concern. Watching this area down here of developing a little bit of a hill core, perhaps just west of Watersmeet, doesn't appear to be that concerning just yet, but we'll watch it for the hail side of things. Next couple of minutes, that moves probably going to be moved just to the north of Watersmeet to be exact here. Yeah, it's going to move just north of Watersmeet here, just south of Bruce Crossing, and eventually towards Sidnaw. Yeah, I got 4 monitors. That is correct. Somebody asking in chat. I posted a report with a picture. Where are you at, Brian? Where are you at with that? It may take a second or two to pop in here, unless I'm not looking in the right spot. So let me know. Janelle says, can we report corn sweat? You can report, I believe we're going to add humidity into there. Somebody suggested that. So you might be able to report that in the future. I'm going to update this. I don't like it on 30 scans. I like it on more like 12. I'm still learning this software. I'm going to kind of bounce between a couple of different softwares here because they do things really efficiently. This is Weatherfront that I'm using right now. Trying to find the there it is. There's your loop. That's what I want to see. I don't want 3 hours. I want just 30 minutes. So there's your 30-minute loop of things. There we go. Did the fires in Oregon get put out? No, they did not. Marquette, you say? All right, I'll load it back up here. I'll refresh it first, but I toggled off a lot of our non-severe reports. So let me show those. Okay. I'm going to assume this is you. It says anonymous. I'll pull it in though. This is going to be coming from the Marquette area from anonymous. I'm going to pull this up here. There we go. Reporting partly cloudy skies. And there's your picture there. Facing the east, a little bit southeast there. So thank you to sending that in, anonymous. So just that one warning in effect. I continue to watch the outage map here. There is 0 goose eggs around the board here for Baraga, Houghton, Ontonagon, Gogebic, Iron, Marquette. Zeros across the board. Marquette has 10, but those were there before. So technically 0 from storm related. Thank you. Ah, that's hot. Just got food delivered to me. We'll get that 8 here as soon as I have a little bit of a cool down period on that. That's steaming hot. All right, back to chat here. Go ahead and animate this for you guys. Add one for cool shaped cloud. Might be able to do that. is there going to be rain in Flint? You can go and take a look back to the south here. In fact, I'll do it first just so I can see if anything is going on. Flint, you're clear for now. Should be clear for most of the night. Yeah, these are just little popcorn poofs, so to speak, on radar here. Nothing really strong going on at all. It may rain for a few minutes for some of you guys, but there's nothing going on. The heaviest of, or the most concentrated areas would be in Eaton and Ingham counties. A few showers popping up around Dansville, Williamston, and Powderville areas, but otherwise the radar is 99% clear. Nothing really worth showing you guys down there. If you're just tuning in, I'll say it again. There's no severe weather expected down in the lower peninsula today. My competitiveness went away when I retired from slow pitch softball. That's funny. All right, MSC storm risk is increasing on this. So we'll check this out on the GR2 product. So storm risk is a tool that we embed into MSC Pro version radar. Basically says, hey, this is what we think the probability of severe weather is with the storm. In this case, on this storm, it is 32% chance of severe wind with this storm. And there is your wind velocity here. Alston and White areas along M38 getting the worst of this. Pelkey is on deck here. That's our main population center there. So Pelkey, Elo, Beartown, Baraga, and Lance areas on deck here as this moves to the east and northeast. I don't see rotation with this. So that's at least good news there. Yeah, there's a chance here. If I go take you guys downstate here for the time being, there is a chance we may see a couple pop-up little showers, maybe a rumble of thunder down here. But the only things I'm really tracking here is in Ingham County there. This little popcorn floofs, we'll call them. Nothing too crazy. We have a few floofs over here in the Kent County area as well, along this lake breeze down by Gobles as well, but there's nothing here that really catches my eye for the time being. We'll keep an eye on it though. Back down to this storm, I would not be shocked they issue a warning. There it is. New warning coming in for this southern edge of the cell. It's going to be for 60 mile per hour winds in addition to 1-inch hail. Sorry, $half size hail. So both hazards involved here, 60 mile per hour winds and $half size hail. Wait for the polygon to pop in here. You'll see it here momentarily. It does include Lance, Alberta, Covington, Nestoria, Sidnaw, and Kenton areas. There's your polygon. Wait, what? Interesting. Oh, I see. Okay. So I misspoke on this. It's going to be for 60 mile per hour winds, and the hail is less than 1 inch on this. So my polygon on this other software is a little bit confused. So again, your hazard with this is 60 mile per hour winds, no hail. A little bit interesting because the hail on this storm, there is a hail core here. So I would treat it as such, but in the meantime, the warning is only for the wind side of things. And I think that's a very valid warning here too, because these brighter greens are showing up here on these storms, which do indicate the wind could be intensifying here. I am still keeping a close eye on the outage map, but still has goose eggs around here, which is good news. No outages being reported. Excuse me. So now we have 2 warnings in effect, pretty big ones at that as well, just for this little complex here. That's going to be the main concern. Back down here for Marininsko and Watersmeet, Ewan areas, all these storms down here look to be more so garden variety nature, maybe some small hail mixed in there. Not even hail that I'm seeing, truthfully. We'll call them garden variety for right now, but consider this as well. The radars here from Duluth, Minnesota, and Marquette, they are very, very high up in the atmosphere. We're not getting a clean slice on the surface here, so we're not going to be able to see everything. But these storms, to me, just don't really pique my interest at the mid to upper levels either. So they don't appear to be that organized. Still looking for pictures and videos reports out of the UP. Mostly for anything damage or any storm report related, hail, tree damage, flooding, stuff like that. That's what we're looking for today. So far, so good. I have a few reports here of some rain, some videos of rain as well, but nothing too crazy. You guys continue to light up the Wyoming area with pictures and videos being sent in from that one little shower that popped up. That's crazy. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take myself off of the screen for the time being. I'm going to eat my food. I'll be here in the background, obviously. I'm not going anywhere, but I will mute myself off and on here as I eat my food. In the meantime, I'll have the radar looping here. We'll talk about the comments here and talk about other concerns as well. I'll go ahead and say this as well. Lance, Covington, Sidnaw, Pelkey, any place between these areas along US 41, Three Lakes as well, should be inside away from windows, interior room, as this storm may be producing some pretty gusty winds here, perhaps severe winds that may be bringing some trees and maybe perhaps some taking some shingles off some roofs as well. That's our main concern here. Nothing too, rotation wise, nothing large hail wise that I'm seeing, at least at the time being. But the wind here is of concern, absolutely. So wind primary concern here with these cells. So take it seriously if you're out ahead of this in the path. Yeah, I don't know what the app does have a tsunami as an option for reporting. Obviously, use it for meteo tsunamis. We get those on our Great Lakes sometimes. Obviously, we don't have actual tsunamis. I hope we never have to deal with one. I'm not an expert on the Great Lakes. I don't know if a big earthquake would perhaps cause a little bit of a tsunami. I'm not sure how that would all work. I don't want to be an expert. I don't want to claim one way or the other. But hopefully we don't ever have to use that. Current time is approaching 7 p.m. Eastern. Current time is actually 6:55. I am Ryan here behind the scenes, getting my food ready to eat. It's still a little hot, so I'm just going to let it cool a bit more. We'll pop back on the screen here momentarily. This is live, Andrea. This is a live radar here in the UP, western half of the UP to be exact. Current time, bottom right of your screen is 6:55 p.m. Eastern time. We catch those cells heading off of Superior. Yes, there's a few cells heading up toward Eagle River. Gonna go north of Houghton, though, by Copper City. They don't look too organized to me, but you are gonna get some rain out of it at very least, and some probably lightning and thunder. Kay says, watching from Lake Linden. Welcome in, Kay. I think the only way a natural tsunami would happen in the Great Lakes if a meteor or asteroid struck the Great Lakes. You're probably not wrong. I do know that our minor earthquakes are, 2.5, 3.0 earthquakes that happened in Erie and Lake Michigan have not really done anything. So I don't know. I'm not an expert on that. I don't want to claim to be an expert one way or the other, but be kind of curious if we get like obviously you don't want to see it, but if we just theoretically say, 7.0 earthquake, what would that do for our lakes? Just out of curiosity. If there's an expert on the Great Lakes, that'd be kind of interesting, or earthquakes in general. I'm kind of curious what the answer would be to that. The worst of this wind appears to be heading on a beeline right toward Lance area. Also, if you're still watching, I know we had a few viewers earlier in the Skaney area. It's heading your way as well. So be mindful. Further south here towards Sidnaw, the wind doesn't look to be as bad, but still can be pretty gusty there on the leading edge of this shower and storm here in the Houghton and Bexar County areas. Main concern here is Lance, Covington, and Skaney. New warning. Baraga and Houghton counties. So they're going to replace this one up here. This was an old box that was issued about an hour ago. Expires here at 7 o'clock. They're going to reissue. There it is, an extension off to Lake Superior. This is going to be only for wind now. There's some positivity here. We're not seeing hail as our main risk anymore. We're getting wind as your main risk. And the wind side of things, I have yet to see one outage reported. Everything still says 0 on these storms. So there's no outages coming in either. So the hope here is that a lot of these storms, for the time being, are sub-severe. That's our hope, at least. Obviously, there's warnings in effect. The wind on radar does look pretty strong, but there's no evidence here to support confirmation of anything, which is great news. Let's keep it that way. Did these storms speed up as well? They say northeast at 20, but it looks a little faster than that to me, but I could be wrong. Further south here, West Michigan is pretty much clear. Like I said, a few showers popping up there. Looking at the Grand Rapids, Charter Township, Ada Township areas. Wayland, little shower there going on. There's actually a little bit of a more decent shower here south of downtown Lansing near Diamonddale, Delhi, Charter Township. On the east side of the state, some blips. We'll call them blips. Oakland County, pretty much clear there, looks like. So there's just not much happening. This cell up here in the northeast Grand Rapids downtown area may have a bit of a bigger core on it. The reason I say that, if you go to the Detroit radar, you can see it looks like a little bit more of a healthy cell higher up in the atmosphere. So that rain's going to come down eventually. So it may rain a little bit harder with this storm over here, but otherwise we're pretty much all clear for 99% of us down here. Gaylord radar is clear. Nothing going on there. I'm going to finish the last of my food here, so I'll be right back. Somebody in chat, excuse me, somebody in chat asked me, or just asked, what does the red mean on velocity? That's a good question there. So reds and greens are obviously the colors of which way the wind direction is going. It all matters where the radar site is. In this case, it's Marquette. So in this case, here in Marquette, the red colors are winds that are going away from the radar site. All right. Green colors are going toward the radar site. Make sense? The brighter the color is, the more intense the winds are. So you see the reds here, the reds are just going away, whereas the greens are still incoming, they're heading toward. That should clarify a lot. Lance is being impacted now, as well as Zeba. Sidnaw. Covington's on deck. Three Lakes on deck as well. 60-mile-per-hour winds is your main hazard. And there's your Celebrate Big Bay that we were talking about for a while there. And that looks like it's now trying to become a marine hazard. So good news there is the hail really just kind of stayed over water there. Didn't really impact many places on land. Waiting for a new update here on these warnings. I'm curious if they're going to add in hail for any of these areas or to keep it wind. There is a few indications of some hail falling down by Sidnaw, but nothing that stands out to me that would really signify anything severe happening. The outage map continues to show no outages. So far, the best case scenario is unfolding. The red polygon, the red box C there is a mesoscale discussion. They issued that prior to issuing the watch. So the discussion basically highlights an area they're going to watch, and then the watch is issued when there's favorable conditions for severe weather. So it's like the watch before the watch almost, is how some people say it. MSC storm risk on this current storm that's warned is 31% chance of severe. If you're in the Lance area, Pelkey area, or Sidnaw areas, let us know what, if anything, you are seeing. I'm curious what's actually happening here with this storm. I don't believe we're getting many outage reports, if any at all. So I can't believe we're seeing too many strong wind gusts reach the ground, but the wind velocity on the radar definitely indicative of some pretty strong winds occurring here, heading into Lance, heading out of Pelkey, and heading into Sidnaw and Covington here shortly. The watch needed a watch. Yeah, they do the discussion before the watch. That's the typical process. Baraga County is right here. I'll mark it for you. That is Baraga County. The outline looks like this. A very rough outline, but that's Baraga. The wind, as it gets closer to the radar, is also starting to kind of come down its intensity, which tells me a lot of this is probably still up in the atmosphere, not really mixing to the ground very much. Again, as radar beams get further away from the radar site, um, the beam goes higher and higher, so we're not getting a very clean slice. But as the storm moves closer, we're getting better data here, and those winds are starting to come down just a little bit. So I have to imagine it's going to continue as a trend here, which makes sense because we're not getting reports of any outages or nothing like that. So that's good news for now, at least. I have the Krups Resort Cam pulled up. I don't see a single. There's the wind's just dead calm. There ain't nothing happening there in Twin Lakes. Our next camera on deck is going to be Watersmeet and Negaunee. So we have a camera, two cameras actually down in Watersmeet. We have the LVD Bar and Grill. We actually have that camera. We also have the casino camera there at Northern Waters Casino Resort. Over in Negaunee, no storms currently approaching, but we'll have storms eventually approaching. That's just west of Marquette at Black Diamond Car Wash. Going to refresh the outage map here again. The outages are actually going down. Again, there's no outages reported in the storm area here, but we had like 1,400. It's down to 982 now. So whoever's out of power, it looks like Oakland County has a good outage, about 700 people or customers. That's all I'm seeing. Antrim has 62, Wayne County has 30, Livingston has 18, Van Buren 16, Berrien 15. So there's nothing from the UP except Marquette County. Those were there previously, so it's not storm related. So far we are severe free, regardless of the warnings. We haven't got any significant reports coming in. So Scott says getting heavy rain in Baraga City. Thank you for that. That makes sense. So Baraga itself on my map here is located right there. And yeah, they are in the worst of this rain right now, as well as Lawrence areas. If you're up in the Keweenaw or Houghton County there, you got some storms moving in on the county line near Larium toward Eagle River and Eagle Harbor. These warnings are in effect for about a half hour longer. The northern warning here is in effect for 50 more minutes. That expires at 8 o'clock Eastern. The bottom one here is in effect until 34 minutes, so 7:45. So the good news though is as these storms are moving, I think they're picking up speed. If I'm getting my bearings correctly here, they may need to expire these early and issue new ones for Marquette County here if this continues. But I also want to take note of the weakening trend I'm seeing on velocity as the storm gets closer to the radar. So they may not really issue a downstream warning. They may go statement on this instead of a warning. We'll see if they do, though. Go ahead and pause the radar there. Check back down here in the Eaton County, Ingham County, as well as Kent County areas. That storm continues, or should I say rain shower continues, along that lake breeze there, just near Cannonsburg, Forest Hills neighborhood. Nothing to be concerned about there. The storm that was in Lansing is weakened a little bit, so not really too much of a concern there either. Oakland County, you guys over here in Macomb County actually has a little bit of a blip popping up there. So overall, still staying clear further south, and that should be the case throughout the rest of the evening. I'm not going to call out everybody here, but I've gotten a few reports here while people are driving. Please do not do that. Several reports actually. I'm looking at these pictures sent in. People taking photos in the driver's seat on a freeway or a highway. Please don't do that. Put your phone down. Be safe. If there's any wind with this storm, Skaney is on deck here. I don't see any population centers. I'll go ahead and call it what's on the township map up here. Nothing. It's a pretty sparse area then. I see Herman, Alberta, Vermiliac, Tioga, Nestoria, Covington. Those are smaller townships and populated centers out ahead of this particular complex. But otherwise, the wind on this is starting to weaken just a tad bit here. If this weakens out to a point where it's not severe any longer, there's really no other storm here on radar that catches my eye. So we may be able, potentially, to hop out of here early and keep it that way. Fingers are crossed. We'll see, though. That's the hope. We said at the start of the stream, that's our hope at least. But the environment is favorable for severe weather, so we should at least have a few more severe storms in theory when you think about it from a meteorology perspective. But for right now, though, nothing that's come in severe report-wise to really confirm anything happening, which is really good news. So let's hope this continues. I am not Joel for reference. I am Ryan. Joel is off for the weekend, so it's just me. I'm not sure he's in chat, maybe. I missed it, but I am Ryan. I'm not Joel. And yeah, if you're behind, make sure you are caught up. So current time is always going to be on the bottom right of your screen. So make sure you're watching within about 30 seconds of that live time. So currently I'm talking at 7:15 p.m. and about 15 seconds after the hour, or after the minute, should I say. Current date is August 7th here. It is a Friday. It's all good. Just want to clarify. I think the next year, over this winter, we're going to revamp the way we're doing our streams a little bit. So you're going to have name tags on us next year. At least we should have name tags next year. I don't expect all of our viewers to know who I am or know who Joel is or, anybody else. So we're here to keep you guys safe. Our names they're relevant, but they're not really relevant when it comes to tracking severe weather. So it's not the most important thing. If you have any app questions, guys, feel free to use the contact at Michigan Storm Chasers email. You can find it in the app as well as a support tab at the bottom of your settings. You can email us any issues, questions, bugs you have. Please utilize that. We have a lot of people just messaging, commenting. We can't keep track of everybody. So the easiest way that we're going to see things is send us an email. I would love to sit here and talk about the app all night with you guys, but that is not the time for this. Sunshine in Traverse City. I believe it. Janelle says, almost sunset time. Fully expecting a good one to make up for the smoky, cloudy ones this past week. We'll see. Yesterday was actually a really good sunset for a few areas. Excuse me. Kay says, heavy rain, thunder in Lake Linden currently. Thank you for that report. Yeah, for those of you watching from lower Michigan, we're talking about the lower peninsula down here. You guys down here. Our concern for severe weather is really ramped up around the Monday time frame. It's not a lock, not a guarantee, but overall dynamic wise in the atmosphere, we're seeing some things come together that would support the chance of organized storm clusters, squall lines, stuff like that. So Monday is the day to watch. If you guys caught my daily video this morning on YouTube, I went a little bit into detail. I kind of sped through things because I just don't have enough confidence really to really, say one thing or the other. But Monday could be morning, could be evening is going to be the general time frame to watch. A lot of it is going to come down to what happens on Sunday. It's like a domino effect. So what happens the day of will affect the day, coming. This storm here down by Covington has my eye as the strongest on radar. But even then, I don't really see this being a hail producer. And so far, I'll repeat myself until I'm blue in the face. I have yet to see any reports of outages for the power. So that tells me the wind is not coming down to the ground. Yeah, there's nothing coming in. It's goose eggs all around the board here. Still not seeing reports of anything significant happening. So I'm still under that influence that we're probably not seeing much in the way of anything severe happening, despite there being warnings, which is good. But still, these storms have very healthy updrafts, and they have potential to produce that wind. It just seems like there's something holding it back a little bit so far, which is good. MSC storm risk on this particular storm is 26% chance, and the main hazard is 22% wind, 12% hail, and a meager 2% chance of a tornado. So wind is definitely your leading hazard with this storm, albeit it is still less than 25%. Back to our app here, guys. Whoops, did I not have that turned on? There we go. Reports of windy conditions in Republic, courtesy of Jen, so thank you, Jen, for that. Report of hot conditions in Ishpeming. Scott sent that in, so thank you, Scott, for that. That was earlier this afternoon. We have a report in the app, or at least an option to report wrong temperatures. So we did have a bug that our syncing of temperatures had some trouble for some of you guys. We've worked on that. It should be fixed now, but if you guys notice that the temperature doesn't really want to update that often, please report that and make sure you guys are operating a later version as well, because if you're operating under a later version or an earlier version, you're not going to be getting those updates. You gotta update the app at that point. If you're still getting bugs at that point, let us know. Latest update would be 2.1.743. We have a video that got sent in. Is this a new one? This is a new one. So I'll go ahead and review this before I display it on screen here, just in case it's not PG or rated G. I don't want to assume everything. Report is from Cali of thunderstorms. Looks like they are camping. I'm probably not going to display this just for the privacy reasons, but perhaps camping, watching us and reporting weather, perhaps. So, Callie, thank you for that. I won't display that on screen there, but they're in the Bruce Crossing area around that general region. So, thank you, Callie, for sending that in. If you're watching. Yeah, like I said about 5 minutes ago, if these warnings get expired or canceled, we're going to be in a position where I think a lot of what's happening here, and I think most all of it, if not all of it, is sub-severe, so below severe criteria. So there might be an opportunity here soon for us to hop on out and kind of relax for the night. Fingers crossed. Mary says, loving the app. Well, I appreciate you, Mary. Thank you for your comment and glad to hear you're enjoying it. Julie says the cells are flooding back up near Lansing. Let's take a look. It's a blip. That's about it, though. This is a floof of a storm, though. I don't see lightning, so we'll call it a rain shower. Floof of a rain shower up in the greater GR area. You guys are flooding the reports around Lansing of pictures and reports of rain, so you guys are on it. A new warning coming in for Baraga and Marquette. We'll get to that in just a second. In fact, we'll go to that right now. I'm still kind of looking at the reports down further south toward Lansing, but let's go north. Once again here, they're going to issue a downstream warning here. I think the running joke here is I called a floof of a storm earlier, and everybody's calling flooding floof. I don't know, but you guys are going wild in chat, so that's always great. New warning is now going to be to Lake Superior. Only hazard with this is 60-mile-per-hour winds, but again, I want to reiterate, we aren't seeing any power outages coming in. Now, that also could mean that there's just not widespread wind happening. There could be some pretty gusty winds mixed in here, but I'm under the impression that a lot of this wind is actually not mixed into the ground, which is good news. But that warning is now for the Big Bay. Once again, if you get in the Big Bay to Skaney areas, this is your second warning of the day. So this is going to be another storm moving in all the way down here to Michigami, over just north of Marquette, so not including Marquette proper. So if you're just tuning in from Marquette-ish Pemming areas, you got the warning for your county. Obviously, there's nothing going on there for you guys right now, but it could be later on. Also want to take a note, we have a cell popping up here near Scandia, west of Chatham, heading toward Rock River. Keep an eye on that. Back here, heading in toward Watersmeet, another line of storms approaching. These are not looking strong or severe, so we'll call those and label those garden variety in nature. Also up here toward Ontonagon and White Pine, same thing applies here, not seeing too much that stands out to me there. Over here toward the Keweenaw, these storms have all largely skipped the Keweenaw and either, that one just weakened entirely. Look at that thing. It's go from, 6 dBz down to like 25. Like, what the heck? It's crazy. The Canadian radar here, I want to take note of this. Marquette's radar beam to the Keweenaw isn't the best. If you take the Canadian radar, probably more accurate. And that's probably what we're looking at there. This is probably going to be a weakening storm at least, but probably some good hefty rain going on here in the Keweenaw and Houghton County areas. Our only camera out ahead of this is going to be in Negaunee, which is going to be west of Marquette, right about right there. That's our camera location. It's going to be pointing at the storm, but it may be impacted here if this continues on its eastward trek. But the main warning is off to the north. Interesting. We got reports coming in all the way up in the Keweenaw County area, which is awesome to see people have the app up there in the UP. So shout out to you guys. There's not that many of you guys compared to the Lower Peninsula, but you guys are still sending reports in, so appreciate you guys a lot. What is MSC storm risk? Asked Jack. I'm behind on chat. That's 7 minutes ago. Storm risk is basically parameters that we set, and it's a large list of parameters that have been set, and it basically spits out a probability of each severe hazard on a particular storm. So for example here, turn this back on here, these little blue purple outlines around the cells, That's storm risk. So the one that's currently warned here, you pop that open, you're going to see a severe probability of 29%, a 2% chance that's tornadic, 27% chance of wind, 12% chance of hail. So basically, I would interpret that as there's a chance this is severe. It's a 1 in 3 chance. Main concern with wind could be some hail there. Low chance of anything tornadic. So that's pretty cool. It's not going to be 100% accurate, but it's a good guideline to kind of compare and contrast. So don't take it and say, "Oh, it's only 5%." There's gonna be some instances where it's probably gonna be 5% with warnings in effect. That's gonna happen at some points, but it's a good general guide to kind of compare to. Lansing is enthusiastic about gray skies. Yes, they are. Look how many reports coming in down in Lansing area. It's crazy. Crazy. Same thing applied over here in the Grand Rapids area when that storm was in Hudsonville. So it's wild. Reports up here in Houghton from Anonymous about 20 minutes ago saying thunderstorms. Lake Linden as well. Anonymous reports 5 minutes ago. Rain. There's your animation for you. Kay says, we know lots about weather in the UP or up here. Okay, I gotcha. Just wait until we can share pictures of our 3-foot floofs. Kay, didn't you report something earlier? I remember reading your name off in one of the reports. I'm pretty sure. I thought so, Kay. I thought so. Yeah, the bot just got you now. I do want to take note here on the Covington area. Looks like the cell is trying to intensify just a little bit, especially on the hail side of things. It's not that organized, but it's getting there. So if you're down in the Covington area, probably east of Covington, over toward Three Lakes, in the southern part of Baraga County, you guys, I would be alert for some larger hail here as this begins to develop and kind of push and mesh together. This is a scan. What time of scan? 724. I have the updated scan here. Let me refresh this, see if I can get a new scan coming in on this side. Here we go. There's a new scan. That worked. Cool. So we're looking at the area down here near Vermillac, Covington, down toward Tunis. Heading to the east here at 35-ish miles per hour. That is so cool. I can draw arrows on this map. That is awesome. Another cool thing I can do, just out of curiosity, I can create a polygon. Just out of curiosity, how many people have our app in this polygon, do you think? 10 people have our app in the polygon. So there are 10 people potentially watching us from this area, which is crazy. Pretty rural, sparse area in the UP as well. So otherwise, back to our radar here. We're going to look at that same general area. I do have swipe mode turned on still. Take a look at the wind. Just, yeah, it's still looking gusty, but not like holy cow gusty. Outage map, check that real quick. Still zeros across the board. Not seeing anything there. I will take back our other radar here, weather front. This does have the hail tracker on it. You can see that this is starting to increase down here by the Covington, Sidnaw areas. Looking for those purple, pinks, and white colors that really start to indicate some heavier, should I say, heavier precipitation, as well as some larger hail could be falling there. Yeah, this storm definitely picked up intensity and speed as well. They still stay moving east at 25, but this is blowing through these counties pretty quickly. At least that north side did. South side's been pretty slow, though. Back to chat here. Gonna try something here. We're gonna try something. We're gonna play around with this just a little bit. Bear with me. You'll see what I'm doing here shortly. I just want to see if this is going to work. I think it will work. Perfect. That's what I want to see. I'm going to experiment over the next couple of months here of different layouts and stuff like this. And this is perhaps what we're looking to do. Big camera, little radar, stuff like that. So we'll see how it all plays out. But I kind of wanted to show off the Negaunee cam at the same time. Courtesy of Black Diamond Car Wash. This is looking to the west-northwest. If you don't know where Negaunee is, it's just west of Marquette in the UP. Storms are still off in the distance, not getting too close just yet, but they'll be approaching here next probably hour to hour and a half. So to go ahead and take back the radar here, get that back into the large size. There we go. Lock that back in place, and we'll go ahead and take that back off the screen. So thank you for following along with the experiment. I want to see if that was possible. It is. Yeah, we have a lot of cameras across the state. The UP is a little bit more sparse with our coverage of cameras. Um, we have a lot more in the LP for sure. And you guys will also be able to access this camera site here coming very soon. We're talking a matter of days now. It's actually already been released to our sponsors for beta testing. So once that process is over, I got to tweak a few things. They're kind of giving me some feedback. I got to go back to our developer and kind of adjust some stuff, but otherwise we are very close to launching the camera network back to you guys. I want to highlight this. This is something you guys can kind of take away as well with using the MSC app. If you guys have the pro version, at least, the storm risk for this cell is increasing. It was at 28 8%, I think it was, or so. Now it's at 43%. So the increase there tells me this storm has probably started to strengthen just a bit, and it is. Down here by the Covington area, you can start seeing those the pink color come in a little bit better on this radar now. This radar color table is a bit different, so when you see pinks here, it really means there's probably going to be hail falling. The actual radar we typically use looks like this, and you can see the purple is starting to kind of turn into the black, and the blacks are what we kind of go, goodness, that's probably some decent hail falling there. Oddly enough, they just trimmed back that warning. I'm not sure exactly why. If there's any hail falling, it's going to be outside the warning polygon just south of Covington here. I would almost argue that it probably deserves its own warning here. Velocity also increasing as well. Does CC have a scatter spike? No, it does not. So I would be on the lookout here for some pretty large hail if you live just south of Covington and Sidnot areas. This is moving off to the east-northeast here, back into this warning polygon, but they just trimmed it back to a point where they must not be concerned about it, or perhaps about to issue another warning for it. I don't know. Either way, I would be treating this south of Covington as potentially severe hail falling. Yeah, this is actually kind of falling apart here on this warning polygon. It's kind of, yeah, there's just might be some stronger winds here just north of Three Lakes, Michigami, but it doesn't really line up with the best reflectivity. It's kind of displaced out ahead of it, but likely probably elevated gusty winds occurring there. I think that, yeah, this is definitely our most concerning cell down here by Covington. No warning on that either. So once again, if you are south and particularly east and perhaps north, that's confusing. Let me draw. What I mean by that, if you're south of Covington in this area, you're getting hail. If you're east of Covington out here, you're in the path. North of Covington over here, in the path as well. This is moving off to the northeast here. Michigami, be alert. I'm going to also say this again. I think the hail threat here, even though it's not warned, is probably the strongest storm we have on our radar currently as this moves off to the east-northeast. Looking for a scatter spike here. We call it TBSS, third body scatter spike. That kind of tells us when we use our debris tracker, we call it the CC, product or correlation coefficient. Tells us that we have some big hail falling in there, but don't see one here, at least not yet. The storm, I guess we can get a good look at the core of this, pull up our GR2 product. That'll probably help us get a little bit more better insight to this. The core on this hail core, should I say, is upwards. Oh, it's very healthy at 18,000 feet. So it's between 18 and 30,000 feet is where that core kind of ends. The marker on GR2 says hail size 1.34 inches. So that's also picking up on it as well. So once again, I think there's decent confidence that we may be seeing some bigger hail falling just south of Covington here. This is a 2-minute-old radar scan. So other roads, good thing is I don't see too many roads out here. A lot of 2-track trails. I see Tracy Lake Road. That's one road I see there. But otherwise, there's just not much else happening. Three Lakes, Michigami in the path of this potential bigger hail. Once again, not warned currently. Our storm risk, though, is now at 47%. So a pretty good signal there from both our product as well as GR2's hail tracker on their side, too. That there's probably some good hail falling there. And the hail tracker is now maxed out. So, yeah. I guess a positive would be it's moving into a warning area, so it's so close they may not issue one, but currently not warned there in the Covington area. Back further south here toward Watersmeet, got a cell moving into town there. Could have some gusty winds there. Go ahead and pull up our Watersmeet cameras and have those ready, just in case they see something that I don't. So I'll have that pulled up. I'll watch that behind the scenes here. take a zoomed out look, I guess. We'll just kind of wait for the next couple of scans to come in, kind of reevaluate. The warning that's currently in effect is for damaging wind, and the storm that's moving into that polygon is weakening dramatically. Its organization is really losing its touch. I will recheck the outage map as well to make sure nothing else coming in. And the answer is nothing has come in, so still not seeing wind translate to the ground. So I'm still in that assumption that wind is not our highest concern for the time being, but hail on this Covington cell is still very impressive. I'm very surprised they haven't statemented it or issued another warning for this. The core on this is starting to come down just a bit on the latest GR2 scan, so it looks like the worst may be over or happening now. But regardless, that purple to black color there, even on our software, you can kind of see we have a different color table on ours for the time being. When you see pinks on our color table or our radar software, that is a telltale sign that you probably have hail falling. So take that into consideration. What's going on down back in Lansing? Let's go ahead and check that out real quick. Nothing on radar anymore. It's gone. The floof is gone. Detroit radar looks clear as well. If you guys have the pro version of our app or desktop software, you'll notice you'll have some what we call clutter around the radar site. And that is, you can turn that off actually in settings if you want to. You can find the DBZ values and crank that up to 5 to 10. But that's there because it's a pro product. So we can kind of see lake breeze boundaries well enough. Like right here, this is a boundary that's set up by Oxford to Imlay City. That tells us we may see some showers try to initiate on that boundary. Also, we have a shower that's popped up here. A lot of photos around this area with this shower here. We'll take a look at those here. I'll pop in here and take a look at these real quick. Back to the UP though for that cell by Covington. Still no warning on that. Guys, please do not take photos when you're driving your car. Please do not do that. I appreciate the reports. We really do, but be safe about it, please. Don't break the law to send us reports. Nothing too fancy there that I'm seeing. Just some wet pavement, stuff like that. If there's a good sunset tonight, guys, I want to see reports on this app. All right. Yeah, the good news with this Covington cell is that the hail core is starting to come down. So it was up to about 22,000 feet or so. It's down below that now. So we are starting to go on a weakening trend with this particular cell. In the time being, I still think there could be some pretty large hail falling in this area, but it should be ending here over the next couple of minutes. Yes, you can draw on the pro version of the radar. You can do that. I'm going to predict they're probably going to expire this warning early. You can kind of tell it's just kind of blown apart here past couple of scans. It's not impressive at all anymore. There's still some brighter velocities showing up on the Barriga County, Marquette County line. But if you look at those velocities, this is where swipe mode comes into play here. If you zoom out on those velocities, you're going to see that the brighter doesn't really match up with the heavier rain, which is where you want to see that wind usually align. So the fact it's kind of displaced out ahead of it, I don't really buy that as legit. Storm risk on this now is down to 38%. So that's also catching on to this weakening trend the storm is on. I still think there's probably some hail falling in there that's fairly large in nature. No update to the watch there. Kind of continues. Latest scan here does show the hail core is beginning to shrink. So we may be warning free here shortly if they expire this current warning. You're probably getting updates for like the severe watch and stuff like that. If you have your if you're in the watch area. The last update I got from Marquette was the bulletin severe warning for Marquette County. I got that. I got the update from mesoscale discussion 55 minutes ago. Those are the only two alerts I've gotten besides these severe warnings. The wind on that southern cell here began to pick up as well. But again, it looks to be somewhat displaced, perhaps. Look at swipe mode. Oh, not too bad displaced. So, yeah. That's probably some gusty winds here in this area as well. So Three Lakes, Michigami would be the areas on deck for this particular storm. Moving to the east-northeast here at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. Wait, so you're in GermFast and you're getting notifications for Marquette? Do you have any saved locations in Marquette area? Yeah, if you don't have any saved locations for Marquette, that's weird. You shouldn't be getting warning alerts for Marquette County if you're over in GermFast. That's not right. Okay, Jennifer, do me a favor. Send me a email if you can. I will probably forget by the end of the night to message our developers. You can send me an email, contact@michiganstormchasers.com. If you can, include screenshots as well of what you're seeing. If you have notifications that you got and your location settings, stuff like that. We'll dive into it. Yeah, that shouldn't be happening, Jennifer. The cell is growing still in size, at least. It's kind of expanding outward. Still no warning on it or statement, but I think it also is kind of downtrending a little bit. So we shall see. I have the LVD bar and grill cam pulled up. I'll go ahead and pull that in here. This is facing south in Watersmeet. Rain in there, but not really seeing too much in the way of any wind. Trees are pretty much calm there, so no wind concerns there in the cell in Watersmeet. What on earth? There it goes. Check out GR2 product again for this core in Southern Baraga. I'm kind of curious what's going on with this. Haven't checked that in about 10 minutes or so. Let's go up in height. So we're looking for a hail core that goes up to over 20,000 feet, and it does not. It's about 15,000, about 15 or so thousand. So this is definitely a weakening storm as well. Hail core, hail size on this is less than a half inch according to GR2 now. So definitely a lot weaker than what it was. We do have a pocket though with some brighter velocities that may be mixing to the ground here with this downburst between Three Lakes and Covington, just south of US 41. Outage map, check that, refresh it. Still nothing. This area out there is pretty sparsely populated as well, so we're not too concerned for the time being for large population centers. Marquette is now dropping reports from previous. I see a gust measured of 41 miles per hour. That's all I got. So largely, the storms today have been sub-severe, despite there being numerous warnings. I don't have any damage. I don't have any power outage. I don't have any hail reports. We may filter in some as we get to the evening, but so far I have not seen anything. Mary, this is going to be in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Yep, this is just a severe warning. There's no rotation on radar. There's nothing, really not expecting rotation at all today. These storms have largely been garden variety for the time being, with some pockets of some gustier winds showing up. But in the time being, I do want to take note, the wind with this cell continues to intensify here heading into Three Lakes. So if you are in Three Lakes, Michigami areas, I'd be inside away from windows. A lot of the wind we've seen today on radar has not translated into damage or power outages. So I have to believe that this is going to be similar, but I can't assume that. I can't say that for sure. So if you are in Three Lakes, Michigami along US 41 here, be inside away from windows, as potentially a bit of a heavier pocket of wind pushes in your direction. The warning is in effect for a large area here, despite the main gust front now moving on to Lake Superior. This is really just petered out entirely. I would not be shocked if they expire this and just cancel the entire thing. I would definitely still consider, obviously I'm not in charge there, but there potentially could be a statement, if not a warning, on this cell here, still in the Covington, Michigami area. The hail core has come down a lot, but the wind on this may be of a concern here for a brief period. For those of you in the lower peninsula, radar is clear and has been clear for a while. There's Gaillards. There's a few cells on the east side of GR here on this Lake Breeze boundary that popped up by Grattan, Lowell, Freeport areas. So if you are lucky enough to win the rain lottery for this general localized 2 square mile region, consider yourself lucky that your gardens are now freshly quenched. In the meantime, the other side of the state is pretty much completely dry. A few showers remain by New Haven, but yeah, we're not seeing too much over there. So we're all clear, minus what's in the Ionia, Kent / Montcalm area. Potentially a shower down in Kalamazoo, question mark? Maybe not. It might be the boundary as well, so we'll probably say it's probably not rain down there, but could have a few areas of sprinkles. If this is wind, it's right at severe criteria, 55, 56 miles per hour, 62 mile per hour pixels in there. There is a little bit of a signature for wind near Watersmeet, but we just looked at Watersmeet a few minutes ago, and that was not windy at all. So this area here to the radar site is roughly 2,000 feet from the Marquette radar site to the wind. The yellow polygon on your screen here is in effect for another half hour. I can't imagine they're going to continue that because a lot of this warning has not much going on. Janelle says you're going to get 50 reports within 2 miles of that area. Probably. In fact, let's go ahead and go down to that area here. I'm sure you guys are actually. There's not many reports yet. Let me refresh. The key word here is yet. So to show you guys the radar I'm looking at here, the reports, there's not much around it just yet. So we'll see. But for the time being, not much. We'll come back to that. Gonna watch this cell over here in the Ontonagon County. About to move into Houghton County area. Some brighter velocity on that one now as well. Once again, reiterating, have not seen any outages come in from any of these affected areas and counties yet. So a lot of this wind today is not mixing to the ground, which is fantastic news. I don't want to assume that's going to continue because I think the chances there that we're going to get some pretty gusty winds at some cases tonight. But for the time being, though, I'm under the assumption that a lot of this wind is not going to be harmful for the time being. Yeah, things are quiet. Usually it's always quiet in the UP. Yeah, this pocket down here heading into Three Lakes still has my eye for some pretty gusty winds here, and I'm still concerned for it. check out what's coming on shore again here, just south of Krups Lake camera again near Toivola. Brighter greens here do indicate some stronger winds are possible. Those are moving more so due east through Houghton County right now. Next place in line for that would be whatever this lake is. I don't have a label on this lake. But whatever lake is over here on the east half of Houghton near the just north of Pelkey, heading your direction there, south of Houghton. Latest scan here has the wind now over the Three Lakes area. We'll have to watch for outages coming in from this area just because it's more populated in nature. Hopefully it's not the case, but we'll see. I still think they're going to cancel this warning early because it's just rain showers up there. There's nothing going on. If they're going to do anything, they got to trim it way back down to the south part of this, if anything at all. And there they go. They continue this, though, for 60-mile-per-hour winds. I would still not be shocked they issue another warning for this area. We've talked about this since Covington. But Champion, Humboldt would be on deck here, Michigami area, Three Lakes. It should stay north, you guys, in Republic, but it's also trying to branch out to the south. We'll see what happens. But Republic-ish coming areas, it should stay to your north. Animate it, and we'll come back to this down further state. Yeah, I don't have too many reports popping up around those storms yet, but I'm watching. I'll show you guys this, actually. Janelle, it's not just moderators and admins. If I actually sort by reports over the last 72 hours, watch what happens. I'm sorting right now by the last 4 hours. If I go up to 72, I'll bring the icon size down, and I go ahead and I refresh and give it a minute to load in. This map is pretty full. It's going to take a minute to load in because there's so many reports that you guys have sent in. So we'll come back to that once it's loaded in. There's just so many of them. Pretty cool as well. I can show you guys this too for the time being. When I pop this in, I can actually sort through all the media here that you guys have sent in to us. So a lot of pictures of pretty clouds and thunderheads and stuff like that that gets sent in. Mostly cloudy. It's a black sky. So pretty cool. And that's just the last 4 hours here. Oh, there we go. We're loading more in here because of I sorted through the last 72 hours. So we are loading a lot. It's not even loaded in yet. It's crazy. Anyway, we'll come back to it, I guess. Drew says, put this on a wish list. Put what? Put what, Drew? Oh. Oh, that's not safe. So I want to go ahead and point this out here because this is a little bit more concerning to me than I have been previously on these storms. And that's because we are in close proximity to the radar site here in Marquette. To this particular storm, we are only roughly about 1,500 feet away from the radar site. And we're getting severe level wind gusts here in Michigami region area. Three Lakes back here ahead of this as well. Okay, well, the warning just got dropped. But I do want to mention that this is a pocket here getting closer to the radar of severe level winds. So this continues to get closer and holds its shape and its intensity, I would be more concerned for some outages within this area with some gusty winds mixing to the ground here. So with that said, they have just dropped the warning entirely out ahead of this, which is an interesting move. Um, but obviously we've yet to receive any reports of anything today, hail, wind, damage, anything. So I'm really not surprised by that. But with the signature on radar, I'm a little bit surprised that they dropped this early. The cell down in the Belding area is catching my eye just a little bit more than usual. Heavier downpour going on here, just to the west of Ionia. This is actually going to be on our Ionia camera if it's up. Let me go ahead and get this pulled up here. I don't have that on our dashboard yet. It is a private camera. So I'll have to go into our old software here and pull this up in Ionia to see what's going on here. But that's a really good cell here in Ionia County to be mindful of. It's blossomed into a very heavy rain shower. I don't see any lightning strikes, but not to say it's not happening. All right, where are you at? Ionia. There it is, Ionia. And yeah, so here is our Ionia camera. Actually, I'm not going to show it for the privacy of those that are on camera. This is a wedding venue, the Old Stone Porch, and it appears that there is a celebration going on. So I am not, for the privacy of those enjoying celebrating, I am not going to display that. But there is a storm approaching. I'll keep an eye on the camera here for the time being. It's cool. It really is cool. I also want to point out that MSC storm risk is now popped up on the Ionia cell here as a 7% chance of severe with a 4% chance of tornado or of wind. Sorry, 1% chance of tornado. So let's get that straight. Wind is primary concern here. Somebody just reported heavy rain in Belding. No picture with it, but the report just popped up on this. This is going to go right over the camera at the Old Stone Porch. So if you're just tuning in, we are live here. We were live tracking severe weather in the UP. That has since weakened. We're seeing a few, scattered, perhaps, I'll use the term strong storms here. It's hard to call them severe when there's been no reports of anything, damage, hail, power outage, nothing like that's been reported today. So it's hard to call them severe, but we'll call them strong storms ongoing here across scattered areas up here in the region. But our focus and attention really is kind of winding down for the time being, and we hope it continues to be that way. I did just notice as well there's a statement in effect for this cell heading into Menominee County. This statement's going to be for 50-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail on the Wisconsin side of the border here, but that could be Menominee County's problem here in about 30 minutes or so. We'll watch that. But for the time being, we're going to see how the cell interacts. It's basically right on the lake breeze here. so it has a good source of lift to sustain itself. If you guys live in the Ionia area, feel free to send in pictures. I would show you guys our camera in Ionia, but as I just mentioned, there's actually what appears to be a gathering going on camera. For the privacy of those there, I do not want to display that and broadcast that. Yeah, it looks like they are all heading off camera for now. So if everybody heads off camera, I might pull it up, but for the time being, I'm just not going to broadcast that for their privacy. The storm risk on this jumped to 12% total, 9% chance of wind, 3% chance of hail, 0.1% chance of a tornado. Let's check out velocity on this out of curiosity. We're starting to get a little bit of a downburst signature there. I'm going to get these road names a bit bigger for you guys and also myself. Need some mapping tools here. Looking for labels. Road names is what I'm looking for here. Oh, there it is. There we go. Road label size. That's what I want. Road width. There we go. We're getting there. Yeah, here we go. We're getting there now. For some reason, I had my software completely just reset itself today, and I lost all of my settings. So we're seeing a downburst signature here, just south of Orleans here. I'm noticing it because we see a little bit of an off color, a grayish color next to red. That tells me we have some clashing of our winds going on here, not rotation, but it's very evident that we have a bit of a downburst wind signature there, just west of downtown Ionia. Also, out of curiosity, yeah, Jack, I know, and outside of that, I want to broadcast it, but privacy is a whole lot more important in this case. I can still monitor behind the scenes and report as that too. In the meantime, though, I'm curious. This is our usual layout here for Weatherfront, but I'm curious if you guys like other layouts better. There's a couple different scenes here I can go to. Satellite is one. Personally, I think this is a little bit too dark. This one lightens it up, but personally, I don't like the satellite look of things. There's black. I don't like that. I don't like the dark color. Here's dark. I don't like that either. There's dark gray. This one's, I guess, okay, but still too dark for my liking. Medium gray is okay. Medium gray 2 is what we're using now. There's medium gray 3. There's light gray, and then there's also white. Goodness. Curious, though. I like this one the best if I use it, but if you guys prefer something else, we can look at changing some stuff up. Let's go back north for the time being. Once again, no warnings in effect in the state currently. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the western and central portions of the UP. For the time being, though, we are all clear from severe. The gusty winds continue to get closer to those to the radar site in Marquette. We're about, let's check to see what exactly we are. About 1,000 feet away from the Marquette radar. And the winds are about 55 miles per hour, about 1,000 feet, which is pretty strong. Let's check out the power outage map. Nothing. Oh, actually, we have our first couple outages. Two customers, actually. Two customers. Iron County. So somewhere down here in Iron County, we have a couple outages coming in. Nothing here really catches my eye. Perhaps this storm near Amasa. Amasa. I butchered that. Amasa. Otherwise, I do not see anything besides that catches my eye. Two customers, unlucky customers out of power there in Iron County. That's all I see. Yeah, Janelle, you can report Aurora in the app as well. There's an option for that. Feel free to utilize it. We also push notifications out in the app for the Aurora sightings. So, well, we are in a downswing here, so I am going to read off our trusted partners that we have with us, or at least a few of them, maybe not all, but perhaps a few, while we kind of sit and wait to see what's going to happen here. So all of our trusted partners here keep operations rolling. They also provide services to you guys in the event you need their services, from tree cleanup, storm restoration, fire, water, mold, or construction, restoration, roofing, stuff like that. We have several partners here who are able to assist you as needed. First and foremost, PFCU Credit Union for any banking needs across South Michigan. Rapid Radios, our communication sponsor. I love my radio here. Victor's Home Solutions out of Mount Pleasant and the Tri-Cities area. Top-notch tree care out of the Jackson and Lansing corridor region. Top Gun Roofing Exteriors out of West Michigan. Storm Guard Detroit Metro North for any construction or roofing needs you may have across that Detroit Metro and points northward areas. Serpro across the state of Michigan for any fire, water, or mold needs you may have. RMHC House Charities of Detroit. Feel free to donate. Rainbow Restoration out of West Michigan, Kent County area. On Top Roofing out of Livingston County. Mike Hayes Roofing and Siding out of the Thumb region. McKay Tree Specialist, Southeast Michigan. Kuiper Tree Care, West Michigan Tree Service there. Katz Roofing and Siding, based out of Powderville, which is near Lansing. Ink Media for digital marketing needs you may have, or website design. Crystal Flash, across the state of Michigan for any propane or fuel needs. Carlton Equipment for any Bobcat equipment, rental, sales, parts, service. Battle Creek IT for any IT related needs you may have. Apex Restoration out of Grand Blanc. American Arbor out of Southwest Michigan, a tree service sponsor there. Lastly, we have A-Class Construction and Restoration out of Mason County. Appreciate all 21 of these partners who keep operations rocking and rolling at Michigan Storm Chasers. We are happy to have them on board. I've connected many people, many of our followers, with the correct sponsors and work that they need done. So if you need their help, feel free to contact them direct or contact us if you have no idea who to contact. We can put you in touch. Back to the weather. We have not much going on. There's a lot, but also not much. There's no severe weather occurring, but there's a lot of little pop-up showers and storms up in the UP. Also have that one down here in Ionia County we're watching close. The storm risk on this is now 9%, so it's kind of hanging out there, not really strengthening or not really weakening. We got some pop-ups down here in Dowagiac and Niles areas. Cassopolis. So widely scattered, or should I say isolated. Scattered would be a bit more coverage than this, but isolated so far would be a good term to use. East side of the state, you guys are pretty much all clear. For the time being, at least. Thumb is clear. Detroit region, Flint region, Owasso, Jackson, Adrian, Detroit. You guys are just clear. Not much going on there. So West Michigan is getting those little isolated pop-ups. That's about it. I am under the influence here that we may be able to wrap this up. The only concern that I see here would be potentially this cell moving into Menominee County. Green Bay radar, check out the velocity on this. Hard to tell. From Marquette as well, let's check out the velocity there. Gusty winds perhaps there. So moving into Faithhorn, Kearney, and Shaky Lakes along the Menominee County border here. Gusty winds are possible. Up here on these two cells, they don't look severe to my eye. This one does have some, they actually both have a little bit of signature for some wind, but nothing that really stands out as significant. But if the environment were better, perhaps, but we have a little bit of pocket there. Also watching a pocket down here by Amasa. Otherwise, I think we're pretty much good for the time being, at least, to kind of pop out of here and just kind of relax for a second. I'm going to wait a few more minutes, actually, before I do that, just in case. But for the time being, I think we're safe from severe in the immediate short term, but we'll see. I'm saying influence, I mean impression. Under the impression. I'm under the influence. Yeah, I'm under the influence. I'm under the impression that these storms are below severe criteria. I've said influence a couple times tonight. You're not wrong there. Yeah, I'll wait probably. We'll give it till 8:30 at the top of the hour. We'll give it 4.5 more minutes, and I will hop out of here if nothing gets issued. So. Wait, who got banned? What happened? Yeah, me too, Janelle. No problem, Kurt. It's our pleasure. Yeah, I didn't even catch what happened. Been live just over 3 hours this evening. I believe we're coming to our end, at least for now. We may be live if one or two storms can become strong enough to get severe warned. We'll see what happens. But for the time being, it's kind of stayed on a subtle trend here. So let's hope that continues for the night. I'm not going to promise it will, but for the time being, these storms will continue to the east. Like I said, severe weather. At this point, I wouldn't say is widespread. Anything that does pop up further would probably be localized in nature, short-lived. So if need be, I'll hop back on here during that time. But in the meantime, I don't see anything that really warrants for me to stay on here much longer. I think the best storm to watch is going to be here in Iron County, where those outages were reported actually a few minutes ago. Still has 2 customers out according to the outage map, but otherwise, that's really it. wrap this up here in about another minute or so. Short term, though, I would definitely say if anything does go back severe, it's going to be for the storm here in Iron County. Even then, doesn't look to be that impressive on the height, the storm scale things, but it does have some signatures for some gustier winds. But that's about it. So once again, if you're watching from the eastern half of the UP, these showers and storms will move your direction over the next couple hours. So you guys will expect those to push through the state, or should I say push through the Upper Peninsula as the night goes on into the overnight hours. But otherwise, severe weather should be isolated at this time throughout the rest of the evening. And if one storm does become severe, again, I'll hop back on here if need be. But in the meantime, I'm going to roll the outro, catch a break here, and monitor behind the scene. They have continued the severe watch for 10 counties. Just got the notification from the app. Just continued it for 10 more counties. So with that being said, we are going to hop out of here. It is now 8:30 on the dot. You guys enjoy your night. I'll monitor behind the scenes. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. That is the wrong video. There we go. There we go. Enjoy.